Hey, just one thing, real quick, policy-wise. If those guys beat me here, I don't want them talking to the press until I've talked to you. I just don't think that's fair to them to have to be the first ones in front of you guys after an emotional game, and it's easier for them maybe to hear me comment and then they can fill in. So that's nobody's fault. It just kind of happened that way. I just wanted to kind of let you guys know that. I appreciate that in the future. I want to start off by acknowledging a great Bobcat in Joe Tiller. I had the opportunity to meet Joe last year at homecoming. He was at our Friday walkthrough, and he was just a gracious, humble man. For all the things that he'd accomplished, you would have never known it. He's a great Bobcat. He was a heck of a football coach and an even better person. I know he was one of the first guys to congratulate us after we beat the Grizz last year in Missoula. And when I found out about that news today, it definitely hit me in the heart. And so our thoughts and prayers go out to the Tiller family, and Bobcat Nation lost a great one today. So appreciate you letting me comment on that. The game, I think it was pretty simple. Really, we had some opportunities in the first half. I think it came down to this. On the defensive side of the ball, couldn't get off the field on third downs. Really had some matchup problems with Fulmer. Number 87 is an excellent target for him. And when we did roll coverage to him, I thought they did a nice job of utilizing the back opposite him. And so, it's hard for us to plug both safeties down and then be able to play the type of coverage that we had to with some of their vertical threats. I thought one of the things that we did a really good job of was eliminating the explosive play and making them earn it. Unfortunately, we didn't do a good enough job of getting off the field on third downs. We played a lot of snaps in the second half in particular, and our tackling started to fade. And so I think that was kind of the tail of the tape on the defensive side of the ball. Felt like our guys continued to play hard, had some calls that didn't go our way. That's the nature of the game. And, they kept fighting, gave us a chance even at the end there, held them to a field goal. It's an 8-point deficit. We get the ball back and have an opportunity. In the first half on offense, obviously we missed 2 golden opportunities in the red zone, converted on a field goal once, missed one once, and those need to be touchdowns against a very, very good football team. And this is Weber State. I know everybody's thinking I'm trying to make them out to be the 85 Bears. That's a really good football team, and I was not blowing smoke. I think they're the best team in the league at this point in time, and that may change as the season goes on because of injuries, because teams with momentum, etc. But I think Jay's done that's not the number 20th team in the country. Let's be clear, okay? Let's be clear on that. That's the best FCS football team we've played, period. And I think that they'll continue to show well in the Big Sky Conference and have a ton of respect for Jay and his staff and the job they did. I think Chris did a nice job with his feet. We could not hold up in pass protection. I think we had some opportunities. We had some matchups, and we had some things that we won on the edge, which we didn't do that very often a year ago, where if we just have that extra split second for him to plant his feet and throw the ball down the field, we're probably going to have an opportunity to create some explosive plays of our own in the passing game. And I felt like special teams hurt us in the first half in particular, not just the missed field goals, but I thought we kicked poorly, punted poorly, and gave them some short fields. Now, we played well enough on defense to mitigate that, but you can't do that. And Jared's a capable enough athlete to be able to do that for us, and I know he will in the future. So with that, I'll take any questions you have.
The first 2 drives in the second half, they just kind of seemed like they were more determined to punch it.
Well, and I told him that. Bottom line, I said, I know exactly what's going on in that locker room over there. These guys are going to come out breathing fire because they did not play well in the first half. And quite honestly, it was kind of a sloppy first half. But we didn't play that well either. Heck, if we'd have played to our level of capability, probably would have had a little bit more of a lead going into halftime. And certainly being able to score right before halftime creates momentum. But, like I said, that's a veteran outfit, experienced group. And I knew that those coaches were going to be in those guys' ears at halftime. And they were going to come out, like you said, determined. And the other thing that was maybe a little bit of a factor that was, we chose to give them the wind to start the second half because I felt like it was going to get worse as the game went on. And if it was a close game, having us have the ability to have the wind at our back in the fourth quarter could have been beneficial for us, and it was.
Yes, actually started fast, got down inside the 10 on the first drive, and I think the second drive you actually got in the red zone as well. Only getting 3 points out of those 2.
Yeah, that was, as soon as it happened, I'm like, that's going to hurt us. That's going to come back to haunt us. Against a good team. Like if we're playing, if we're playing somebody that's not as talented and as physical and as good a team as a Weber State, you might be able to overcome some of that. But heck, it's you just can't waste those opportunities.
Just to get the passing game going.
Well, I think it was probably their rush because we won matchups. As good as their secondary is, I felt like our receivers were winning at the line of scrimmage and we were creating some space. We had some things that we really liked and we couldn't quite get to them. I think they're, wet ball, all that kind of stuff. Certainly ball slipped out of Chris's hands a couple times, but I think it was probably more us just not having that extra second that we needed to be able to, for Chris to be able to diagnose what was happening and get the ball to the correct guy. And so I think that was probably the biggest issue that we had was just not being able to win some of those one-on-ones up front.
Can you talk about those 2 late penalties?
No comment on the penalties.
Coach, it seemed like you were in second and long a lot of times. How difficult was the first down to get into the ball?
Well, sometimes, as I told Brian, is be patient with the run game. And hey, if we get a 1-yard gain, that's not the end of the world. And, we know Chris can get us out of trouble with his feet. And so that was one of the things. Yeah, we got into some second and longs that led to some third and longs, but it is what it is. And so, we're not going to be able to pound the rock against everybody we play like we did last week against North Dakota, but we have to be more efficient on first down and get us, hey, 4 yards on first down is better than 1. And so, we got behind the sticks a few times, and we were able to convert some of those too.
Can you evaluate just the September grind that you guys went through there against 4 ranked?
I think we're a pretty good football team. I don't think we're very mature right now. We certainly made some mistakes that cost us in inopportune moments. And I think our kids know that we can. The one thing, you never want to lose, all right? But when you go toe-to-toe with the opponents that we've played, and oh, by the way, Washington State's evidently pretty good too. I think our kids do garner some confidence out of that they know that, hey, we can do this. Now, we've got to clean some things up, and we got to grow up, but we can do this. And I think we will.
Things were kind of reversed from last week. They were able to hold the ball longer than you. Third down conversions didn't go in your favor. Today, what was the difference?
Yeah, they obviously, they're a pretty good team defensively, and we knew that coming in. But the third down was very key, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm pretty sure they dominated that. And obviously, time of possession, like you stated, and you're right, they did flip the switch, and that was the outcome of the game. Yeah, it was just that throw, I think, was to Mitch. Yeah, it was to Mitch. I just needed that one to get completed, and we would have started rolling. But most of the time, if you don't get a completion within the first or second play, then it's kind of hard to get it going. But I know I just tried to improvise the best. But there's a holding call that brought us even back more, so that was kind of hard as well.
You guys just ran 9 plays in the entire 34. How hard is it to keep a rhythm as an offense when you hardly even have the ball?
Yeah, I know it's hard. It's hard to get a rhythm, and obviously when you're not getting first downs, you can't get a rhythm. You just 3 and out, you gotta wait quite a while, especially today with that type of possession they had today. So it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, their long drives are probably frustrating for your defense, but they're frustrating for you too, and you can't even get on the field.
Yeah, all you want to do is help the team as much as you can, and it sucks when you feel helpless. So that's the worst feeling.
Did the rain have an effect on it?
No, not really. Just some bad throws we gotta make, and just gotta. We've said this 1,000 times before, but we gotta finish, and we're gonna keep saying it until we actually do finish in a big game like this.
The long touchdown to Lance, it looked like you guys kind of designed it to, do it really quick and make sure that they were sort of out of sorts there in the back end. Is that how it worked out?
Yeah, we have a play that we just go 2 or 3 times in a row as fast as we can. If we don't hit it the first or second times, then we'll just have the third time. It will just be a play to convert the third down. But obviously, if you hit it the first or second chance, it's usually a big play down the field.
How did that change the feeling going into the locker room, and then how frustrating was it when you struggled in your first quarter?
Oh yeah, that definitely got us going. A little bit of momentum going into the half, like kind of during South Dakota game. So I expected, when we expected as offense to continue rolling, because usually how we go, once we score the first time, we roll. That showed last week in South Dakota. So I thought that was going to happen, and then when they came out, and then they kind of slowed it back down with that long first drive, and then they just kept doing that the whole third quarter.
Did they defend you the way you expected?
Yeah, they just brought zero, and then it was hard to get off a ball that fast, and then obviously they have zero, so mostly all the gaps at all times are contained when they're blitzing. But if they went one high, they mostly had I don't know his name, but 58 as the rat player on me, so it was just that.
Did they spot you?
Yeah.
Just
I couldn't really tell you off the top of my head the biggest struggle, but I give props to them. They were physical, obviously no back down. Even after that long touchdown, they still played man-to-man, physical, cover zero. So they stayed to their identity, and that worked out for them.
At least 4 drives of 10 plays or more. How hard is that as a defensive player when they are just kind of chunking away at you?
Yeah, it's hard when we can't get off the field on third down, and I think that's why they had long drives, is because they kept executing on third down, and we just need to step it up. We need to be able to finish drives and be able to get off the field, and bad decisions on my part and stupid penalties really hurt that, and that's how long drives continue when we don't do our job and get off the field on third down. On the penalty? Yeah, it was just a bad decision on my part, and I take full responsibility for that, but yeah, bad decision.
Did they attack you any different coming out at halftime? You know, those first 2 drives, they went down and scored touchdowns.
Yeah, we knew they were going to come out swinging, and we wanted to do the same. We knew they had it in them. We knew they were a good team, and yeah, I mean they were just executing plays, and we just couldn't get off the field.
How do you think you guys handle all the motions and switches and all that stuff that they do?
I felt like we handled it well. I thought we communicated well up front and in the back end as well. Yeah, that doesn't have much of an effect on us.
How would you evaluate this last month for you guys, and what's the mindset going forward? I know you're 4 straight ranked teams, so I mean, that's got to be a relief to have that stretch done.
Yeah, it's been a grind. I think we've grown a lot through the last month, but like Chris said, we haven't finished, and until we finish, we're just going to keep working, and even when we do, we're going to keep working and keep working. So, I mean, we want to go on a run. We want to win the Big Sky. We have goals that we want to accomplish, and we haven't accomplished anything yet.
Talk about those long scoring drives they had, I think 5 or 6 of them. Not being able to get off the field, how demoralizing that is for our defense.
Like you said, we just got to get off the field, you know. Being on third down, play after play after play, you know, we just got to get off the field, you know. I think third quarter, they stayed on the field for the whole third quarter just about, so we can't have that. We got to get off the field, you know, just get the ball back for our offense with plenty of time so they can go score.
Anything they were doing on third downs particularly that didn't work?
No, we were beating ourselves. That was all.
It seemed like, you know, you didn't break though with the first half, you know, holding them to make 3 field goals and 3 trips to the red zone. Maybe what changed in those first 2 drives in the second half?
I don't know. The first, you know, we were staged known for coming out first half and putting on teams early, so we had to make sure we stop them. Like you said, we held them to 3 field goals. We just got to continue to carry that on to the next half, you know, and continue to shut them out and just continue to get the ball back for our offense. As long as Chris got longer the time Chris got the ball in his hands, the better we're going to be. Close, but yeah, I didn't get it, you know. And then I got to do better. Got to do better.